everything off sex and everything. It's so fucking stupid.
I get what you're saying, and a lot of what you're saying is making sense.
Because I'm done keeping my feelings inside. Because I'm going to literally murder someone if they don't fucking stop pushing me over and pushing me and saying that I'm not doing shit. I work my ass off on that computer. I answer 216 questions under a time limit. I have to get 100s. I have to get good grades so I can get a fucking diploma, so I can get a job and survive in life. And for her to sit there and bitch at me saying you should help me, you go fucking help yourself. I have shit to do too. And she shouldn't come asking you for shit or him. You guys should be doing stuff too. You have stuff you deal with. She blames everything on everything else and won't stick up for herself and what she needs to fucking do.
Sometimes, I mean, there are a lot of things that you've said that I can relate to. I mean, I know the best side of her. I know the good side of her. I mean, I think overall she has been the best person in my life, but at the same time, I totally get where you're coming from, and I do think there are things that she could be doing that just like, that would really, help us out.
Do you not think that if she acted like an actual parent, stuck up for being a parent, and that it's not your fault that you came into this world, would sit down with you and be patient because she's a mother and she needs to be there for you and walk you and teach you how to do things? She said she wants you out. That as soon as she's able to get this birth certificate, you're out. We went on a walk and she said that. I'm not fucking lying to you because you know I don't lie. She said that to me and it pissed me off. She doesn't care about you. You really think that she does care about anyone but her fucking self? She doesn't. Same as Brett. And I've realized that. Their god complexes, they never wanted kids.
Well,
and I think you know that deep down that she doesn't care, because if she did, she would sit down with you. She would teach you how to live. She would teach you these things. And she wouldn't fucking say that once she gets a birth certificate and finally can get you out of her hands because she's sick of it, that she would. So she's just gonna throw you out once you get a birth certificate. What are you gonna do? She's never taught you shit. Are you gonna force her and say you need to be a fucking parent, or are you gonna continuously let her walk over you until she throws you out? Then what do? You're homeless. You think she cares? No, you're no longer her kid.
The reason I ran away from home back in December was because my mom was automatically taking my brother's side without any good reason whatsoever, and then she said she was calling the police because my dad told her to call the police because apparently I was being a horrible person, and my mom was going to call the police. And I thought she was calling the police, so I was just done with it. I was just done with everything. I just walked out the back door and didn't look back. And I just thought she was calling the police when I felt like I was being the mature one in the situation. I mean, I'm not going to try and make it sound like I was, doing all the right things, but like I know that my brother definitely felt like my brother deserved a solid punch in the face at that time. And yet I still restrained myself, and he still attacked me first. And I felt
take anyone's side if they can get ammo off of it, because if anything goes in their way, they're going to take it. If it doesn't benefit them, they don't give a fuck.
I mean, it's like my mom automatically defaults to taking Joel's side no matter what is going on, simply because I'm older.
Of course. She has to deal with him. She just wants to throw out. She even said the same about him. Because he wants to go out, she's not worried once he gets a birth certificate and everything. But you know what? He may have that plan. He may learn stuff because online. But
my brother is not smart.
Yeah.
He may think he's smart, he may think he's tough, but he is not smart,
and
he is not tough.
Why do you think they leave him alone?
Exactly. My mom thinks...
He's good at manipulating. He's probably lying. He's probably done so much shit no one knows.
Yeah, my mom thinks that Joel would destroy me in a fight when I don't think, I know I would beat him in a fight simply because I'm smarter. I don't think that anything my parents think about Joel is very accurate. I don't think Joel is smart. I don't think he is tough. I think he's a pretender. I think he's a master pretender. He's got everybody fooled. And one of these days, his true colors are going to come out. One of these days, he is going to have to face himself. And I don't want any part of him in my life as long as he decides not to change.
I just hold it down because I don't feel like hurting people. But I guess a lot of people like that, so I'm done with it. Fuck it.
Well,
so what if I hurt people?
At the end of the day, there are so many backstabbing betrayers in this world that really what I've felt like it comes down to is the only person that you can really rely on in this world is yourself. And because you learn that as time goes by, like,
I think I finally learned it because I'm done.
Like, there have been so many people, like, you know, with like, I don't even have to mention any names, but you know who I'm talking about. There have been many people that have just, like, I've relied on, and I've relied way too much on, but at the end of the day, they'll just backstab you, betray you. And
I relied on your mom to be someone who would support me and teach me things, because she took responsibility for me. That's not my fault. She took responsibility to me to be a mom, to be someone to guide me and help me through things, not to control me or tell me what to do, but to guide me and give me options of healthy choices and to hope that I would take them, not to constantly put a ring around my neck and choke me and say these harmful things to me. And that is exactly what has been happening. And it is fucked up. Because I never fucking asked. She took responsibility for me. She signed papers. She took that into her hands, not me.
Yeah. And I see what you're saying. And also, when you said, like, you didn't ask to be brought into this world, like, nobody...
No one asked.
Like, neither did I. No one asked to be brought into this world.
She took that responsibility for herself.
Yeah. And... like, you, me, people like you, it's like you didn't ask to be brought into this world, but you just expected to know what to do and expected to know how to move forward with your life and expected to know how to become an adult.
She expects
and it's
me
just
to be
like
fucking have all the answers, to automatically do the right thing. She expects me to know exactly what to do, how to handle a situation, and if I don't do that, then I'm fucked up. No. I don't know how to do everything, but I'm trying. You can help me instead of bringing me down every fucking day and making me feel like shit. I'm pretty sure you can tell a difference in me.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I can.
What do you think about this side of me?
Well, I mean...
not many people get to see that, but I've been broken, so I'm guessing it's staying. Until someone treats me kindly again, then maybe I'll start rounding it up again. But I don't know. I'm honestly at this point like, why continuously hold it in? Why care? Why sit there and continuously take people's shit? Why not speak what I think and speak my mind?
Yeah, I mean, I've always thought you should never bottle up your emotions. You should never hold stuff in like
I've done that because I don't want to hurt people. Because I try my fucking best to be a good person and to do
But hold on. Yeah, you say you don't want to hurt people, but there's a thing we learn eventually. We can't please everyone. It's impossible to please everyone. It's impossible to go through life without, you know, well, with the intention to please everyone. It's you can't please everyone. We have to speak our minds. We have to say what we think, even if our voice shakes. We have to speak our truth, even if our voice shakes. Like, we can't be wrapped up in caring about what people think of what we say.
Then do you think what I said to your mom today was wrong?
I didn't hear the whole conversation.
Whenever you walked in and heard the last bit of me flipping out and finally speaking my mind, what did you think?
I don't actually remember what was said, but I just...
To be honest, I don't remember.
I just remember a lot of yelling.
Pissed.
I mean, a lot of the things...
I saw fear in her eyes, by the way. Once I finally stood up to myself, I looked straight in her eyes and told her exactly how she made me feel. Her voice got a little lower. She got upset and I put her right back in her place. That's who she is. You either control or get controlled. She doesn't care. If she did, why would she treat this way? Maybe she does care. But how much of that care is actually being put forth, and how many of it is excuses and bullshit and her not standing up and being a parent? She has responsibilities that she needs to face. I don't give a fuck about my birthday. I don't care about that. There's other things that are more important to me. And of course, I hate my birthday. I just don't really understand the point of it. I hate gifts. I hate getting things. I don't really expect anything from people because everyone expects something back. That's why I hate my birthday. Because that's not something I asked for. I never asked for anything. It's your responsibility. And that's why I hate it. I don't think I'm going to be able to stay okay if your mom confronts me today. Or within a few days, because I'm pissed. That's why I know, being a mature person, taking responsibility for how I would react, or how she would confront me and say something hurtful again. That if I went to spend a night with my friend, where I've been there before, for one night, or two, that would be better than being in a situation where I'm not going to be mentally okay right now. That's what I'm saying. It's not running away, it's being smart and understanding that this is not a good situation for me at the time being. Can you understand that now, from what I've told you?
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of what you've said has, like, really made me think about things, really look at things with more perspective.
I mean, I really want you to fucking look in her face and say, you are responsible for me. I'm an adult and I have no clue what to fucking do in life. I don't have the answers and I can't get them by myself. It's your responsibility as my parent to give them to me. And it's bullshit that you make excuses, so give them to me. Or something along those lines. Just stand up to her and look straight in her face and say it's your fucking responsibility. Because she puts it on you. She doesn't want responsibility. She binge eats. She eats and stresses through the day. I'm stressed too. What do? I get very little time to... I drink water when I'm stressed because I know my bad habits. There's a few times where I've slipped up, like eating a cookie in the morning. But that's when I'm really stressed when I do that. And whenever you confront me about it, instead of saying, hey, what's wrong? I mean, why would I eat a cookie for breakfast? It's not normally like me, is it? Why are you doing that? Hey, why are you eating a cookie? Could we make something for breakfast? You know, like I've explained this to you. The way that things are handled and confronted and went over are completely wrong. There's so many different ways how you can treat someone and how there's wrong ways. Constructive criticism is different. You do not do that 24/7 in your life. You do not confront someone 24/7 in your life. Life is not always puppies and rainbows, but it's not always bullshit and fire either. Think about that. It's not healthy to constantly have criticism because then you feel like you are literally shit and you never do anything right, like I feel. That's how I feel. And it's affected me to the point where I'm exhausted, I'm fucking drained, I'm pissed, and I'm completely done with bullshit and I'm speaking my mind.
Yeah, and that I think that's a good thing. And for a long time now, I've always been like the type of person to try and understand, like, I've always been like the type of person to try and understand things well from both sides before jumping to conclusions.
Oh, I've been on her side, don't worry. I put myself in her shoes. I've talked to her about how Brett treats her, about what you guys put her through. But you know, she puts you through more than you put her through, and I thought about that. I put myself in her situation where you guys were fighting and everything, but really, she could prevent that. She's the fucking parent. She has responsibility for you.
Yeah, I mean, Joel sits in his room all day on his computer with his door locked.
Excuse, he'll just watch TV all day. Okay, so you're fucking responsible. You're a parent. You take it away anyways. He'll get over his pissy attitude and start doing something if you give him constructive criticism. You know what? Okay, I'm just gonna say it. Constructive bitchesism. That's what I call it.
I think what Joel's going through is just a phase. It'll eventually die off, but like, I know I was never as bad as he was. But like, I think one day he'll eventually have to face himself and decide to become a better person and make amends to the people that he's, make amends to the relationships in his life that he's screwed up. For example, like with me, I don't think he will ever actually try and, fix his relationship with me or try to make amends to me. But like, I'm at a point where I just don't care. Like, if he wants to make an effort to change, then that's fine. But like, I don't actually believe he will anytime soon. As for my mom, I mean, I think my mom's been there for me more than anybody else in my whole life. Cared about me more than anybody else in my whole life, by far. No one even comes close. And it just, but at the same time, a lot of what you're saying does make sense, and I just think, there are a lot of things that do get to me and bug me on a regular basis. For example, like, I don't feel like my parents have really guided me in the right direction my whole life. I feel like I shouldn't be this old and still have, I don't feel like I've had, like, that guidance by parents that you're supposed to have. And I just feel like I just get blamed for so much, and I feel like there's so much responsibility put on me when I didn't ask to be, born. I didn't ask to be,
Unless you said the words out of my mouth. You didn't ask to be born. That's not your responsibility, that's theirs.
But there's still some days where in the back of my mind, almost every day, there's that feeling of dread where, like, oh God, I'm an adult and I'm not moving forward with my life, and I'm not figuring out what to do, and I just don't know what to do.
Well, you're not about to be 18. What if we did that together? Did resource watch videos on how to be an adult, found resources together.
Well, it's more than just that. There's
Yes,
all
but
kinds
that's
of stuff.
somewhere to start.
Yeah.
And at least you're learning something. At least you're getting some information, because it's obvious your fucking parent who's supposed to do that shit for you won't do it, so you need to step up and somehow find it for yourself. Unfortunately, it's not your responsibility. You don't deserve that. You deserve to have them, but they won't, so you have to do something, because unfortunately they won't do that.
Yeah, going back to what I said, it's like eventually you learn that the only person you can really rely on in this world, ride or die, is yourself. Because you're it's like no matter where you go, what you do, you're going to run into people that just don't ride with you, and they're just going to backstab you eventually. And it's like there's no getting around it. My parents are good parents, but at the same time, they're also smarter than the average parents. But at the same time, it's like they're just so
self-centered, selfish, and God complex, and they don't want to take responsibility.
I don't know exactly how to say it, but it's like they're so unaware of the fact that they're not doing some of the most important things that parents should be doing to children becoming adults.
I mean, don't you think it's wrong that she said that to me? Like, that's her responsibility. I am, and she's supposed to be a mom figure to me. I won't ever think of her that way. She may have been felt that way if she had treated me right, if this was a different situation, but I can't, I never talked to her about anything, like, ever, because I'm scared too, because I know she would just doubt anything I said, any exciting news I had. I would have had a job. I had an offer, I did this stuff, but they wouldn't give me a ride. They wouldn't drive me to and from. I was going to get paid $10.15 an hour just cleaning bathrooms at the Speedway.
Oh my gosh.
I just needed a ride, and they just downed me about it. They didn't support me through that. They wouldn't give me a ride for that.
Okay.
And I don't know how to do a job interview, so I called one of my friends who did, and they helped me through it.
I've never done one either. I mean, I technically did, because I had one job.
Friend, so I can't do it, so that job's fucked over now.
I had that sign spinning job, but there wasn't really much of an interview, just a bunch of stuff to fill out and a couple questions, but it wasn't really much of an interview.
I didn't have to do that.
Yeah. That's the only job I've ever had. Yeah. That's a bird's nest.
What do I do?
I mean, I've been asking myself that for a while now. Often I feel like my parents are ashamed of me. Actually, I felt like this for years.
I feel that now.
No, I felt like this for years. No, let me just say this. I felt like this for years, where I feel like my parents have been waiting for me to just figure out what to do in life. Just at any point, I'm supposed to just figure it out myself, and that I'm supposed to just figure out all the answers for myself. I'm not supposed to rely on them, and I get that, but I still, for years now, I felt like I've always felt like this weight on my shoulders, like my parents are ashamed of me not knowing what to do or not moving forward with my life, when I've really just been so clueless on what to do and how to move forward.
You have to worry about.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just being lazy all the time. It's also about like dealing with mental health issues, dealing with caring about what people think of you. Like I've had to cope with like caring about like what my caring about being good enough for my girlfriend, or trying to care what other people think of me, which was a waste of my time, and like just being stressed from just day to day, not knowing what to do, that kind of stuff, and just things that relate to that, and just like.
Do you notice how I never really lay around or do much of that? I'm constantly always active doing school, or stressing, or not being able to go anywhere or do anything, and the bare minimum I get is maybe gaming.
Yeah, and I've never been much of a gamer, but I've always been like, I feel like for years now I've been looking for something that I don't really know what I'm looking for, and just like, it's really hard to, just figure out what you're doing wrong, because sometimes in the back of your mind you always feel like you're always like, gosh, I'm repeating myself here, but it feels like sometimes you feel like you're ashamed of what you're not doing when you don't know what it is you're not doing, because you don't really know what you're supposed to do yet. Whether you're 16, 17, or whether you're like
about to be 18,
or whether you're like
3 days.
or whether you're like in your early 20s, because we're not really fully developed until age 26, which is a fact not a lot of people know. But I just, but yeah, I just think that there's a lot of built up shame in the back of a lot of young people's minds of what they're not doing to move forward with their life, instead of like being helped to figure out what to do and where to go,
but being supported and guided and taught that in a supportive, kind manner.
Yeah, and I've always thought my parents were smarter than the average parents and better parents than the average parents, but there's still many flaws about them that I have grown to see. And so I can relate to a lot of what you're saying. And I have been recording our conversation. Is it okay if I post it on YouTube?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.